Hey, what's up? This is Laidback Luke, DJ and producer, Kung Fu athlete, and dedicated dad. I am so excited to take you into this vlog. It's been a while I did like a candid conversation with another fellow DJ. This time it's A-trak, and you might know him from this. And his label Fool's Gold released this a bunch of years ago. A DJing prodigy, so I am very excited to have him in this vlog. Floating into the light. Can't decide if I'm drunk. But first up, let me talk about Miami Music Week 2019. I'm back with another Kung Fu session at the W Hotel on Thursday, March 28th. If you've always thought about training with me, doing some Kung Fu with me, here's your chance. Tickets down below in the description. Can't be a Miami Music Week without the Mixmash pool party as well. Tier 1 tickets are already sold out. Be fast for the Tier 2 tickets in the description below as well. Shout out to the number 1 and 2 comment from last week. Number 2 is Leo Andres, and that's a good and simple question. Actually, I just do it by ear. Keep an eye on the meters on the master channel. Gain staging actually happens when you have it in the headphones. When you have it on the Q button, you can already gauge where it's going to be sitting on the master channel, and then when it pops up, you can quickly do some adjustments in the EQ and in the gain as well, so that everything sounds correct. Mark Miner on the number 1 comment congratulating me or us with our 15 years of Mixmash Records. And to celebrate this, we've been getting shout outs from artists every 15th of the month. I want you to make a shout out as well. Go check out the Mixmash Instagram to see the D.O.D shout out that he did for us. And please check the description below as well to leave your shout out. I am excited to see what you got for me. And I'm excited for you to see what I got for you. In this vlog, we're gonna be talking to A-trak. I'm gonna take you out to New Jersey first. Okay, so we're out here in Atlantic City at Ocean Resorts. I'm starting my new residency at HQ tonight. I'm super excited about that. But I'm super excited about this hotel room as well. Do you see the view? This is like Atlantic City, New Jersey. What's up? I had awesome shows this weekend. Atlantic City was awesome. Washington, D.C. was amazing as well. But the most important part is right here, where I sit down with A-trak and talk to him about real DJing. This was yesterday in Washington, D.C. All right, we're here with A-trak.
Yes.
He's here.
I'm here.
In the intro,
You're here.
I'm here as well. This is a guy I absolutely look up to. We are so grateful to have him amongst us. He's like one of those unicorn people. Like sometimes I see you doing like those small like in-store things, and you have people like crowding upon you, and I'm like, we are so lucky we get to witness this.
Ah, thanks, man.
So if you don't know about the history of A-trak, he started out as a scratch DJ. You actually became not only a battle DJ, but a club DJ, and I feel a lot of people don't know this story.
There was a point in time when, when I was 15 in '97, I was crowned world champion, DMC world champion, but I couldn't do more than a 20-minute set. And I was getting booked. Yeah. I was getting booked because at that point in time, there was kind of an explosion in interest in scratch DJing and turntablism, and people wanted to see all the things that were being done with turntables, because it was a very fruitful period. It was a period in time when people like the Invisible Scratch Pickles, Hubert and Mixmaster Mike and those guys, the Executioners in New York, the Beat Junkies in LA, all these DJs were inventing so many scratch tricks that it became an attraction in itself. Once I got a little bit more shows and dealing with more and more different types of promoters in different cities who are used to booking for someone for at least an hour, that would be in the contract. By the way, I taught myself how to do my own contracts early on too. Oh, wow. I was living at my parents' house, and again, I was 15, 16. I befriended some of the other Montreal DJs, and Kid Koala was already starting to make some noise then. And I remember his manager let me see what his contract looked like, so I could sort of base it off of that and edit to whatever my needs were. And if someone wanted to book me, they would call my parents' house. And yes, soon enough, people started asking me, like, can you play like at least an hour? In the year or so that followed, I also befriended another crew of DJs, especially Craze from Miami, who's another absolute wizard of turntablism and battles.
Shout out to DJ Craze
shout
right
out to
here.
Craze, you know, probably the most decorated and respected battle DJ. And he had just linked up with a few other DJs, started a crew called The Allies. I joined The Allies in 1998, and I started getting even more bookings. That's when I remember starting to bring more of an actual crate of records and filling up an hour or so of music. It's funny because I, you know, taught myself how to mix after mastering some of the toughest things that you could do. It's like, all right, let me get the basics now. I definitely think that I spent years, even from that point on, getting better at not just mixing. Beat matching is easy, but like record selection, obviously.
There's some similarities in our roots, and the main one, and I love it that you keep that alive still, is the French touch.
French touch sound, yeah.
And I'm not trying to be racist because he speaks fluent French, but at a certain point you got that crossover with Paris, right?
It's true that we received a lot of French culture and French music in Montreal. So I really remember seeing music videos for Daft Punk and maybe a little bit of Cassius, but definitely Daft Punk on Music Plus, on this TV network. And although I was a hip-hop head and I wasn't interested in house music yet, when Homework came out, for example, those songs still spoke to me because I think the Daft guys, even early on, produced with almost a hip-hop ear, like the way that they used samples, and they used even, you know, some of the same samplers, even like the same hardware, same machines, the SP1200 and the MPC and things like that, to cut up their samples. And there's something in that caught my ear. I was like, I don't usually like this style of music, but I like this one right here.
And so you had a good period of hanging with DJ Mehdi. May he rest in peace.
Rest in peace to Mehdi, for sure.
And I guess the Ed Banger crew, Justice.
I remember doing this one show in Paris, I want to say in 2005, for this magazine. There was a cool sort of like skate culture magazine called Clark, and I met Sirkin, who's an amazing sort of prodigy producer, techie latex, who at the time was with a group called TTC. And they were rapping, but it was electro beats. And I remember just being fascinated. And my friend Mathieu was like, let's go stop by the Ed Banger office. So I was vaguely familiar with Ed Banger, and like the story about how I didn't expect you to know me, I didn't expect these guys to know me either, because we were just sort of in different worlds. But they took me to Ed Banger, and I met Pedro Busy P, and he was very familiar with my work, and Somi, who was the art director. They burned a CD for me that had unmastered tracks. I felt like I had to like come up with a ruse to bridge that gap and figure out how to play these electro records, even though I wasn't known for that. So I started making a lot of mashups and putting rap vocals on these electro tracks, and eventually just started playing the tracks themselves more and more. And Mehdi really, I started doing a lot of shows with him because he was an amazing DJ too, so people like to see us DJ together. And through that, I feel like I absorbed a lot of knowledge of how to be an even better house DJ. Before
we start talking about DJ technicalities, I want to talk to you about you being an entrepreneur.
Okay,
so,
cool.
We have Fool's Gold, the record label, obviously, but we have the clothing brand and the stores as well.
I would say two things. Part of it is the era of hip-hop that I got my start in. Late 90s hip-hop was underground, and there was a do-it-yourself mentality. But in those years, I didn't think that I would ever have a shop or organize festivals or this or that. I just thought, I couldn't think further than, we're going to press up vinyl. That was already this amazing thing. Fool's Gold, which was intended as a record label, pretty quickly became record label, events company, and brand. And the store is an extension of the brand. It's not even just a Fool's Gold store. Now we look at it and we say, well, we have this space and we really care about the community. So now let's turn it into a sort of community space where our friends can use it for pop-ups. Or, there's a music school in New York that teaches underprivileged kids, to give them music lessons. So we'll tell them, come do lessons at our shop once every couple months. Say there's an artist who does cover art for one of our records, and we'll tell them, like, hey, have you ever done an art show? Why don't you do an art show at our shop? And we just use the space for more stuff. But so much of it just happens organically by connecting dots.
speaking about keeping growing and new challenges.
Yeah.
So we have the Goldie Awards.
The Goldie
now.
Awards.
That's your own.
The name's a little bit misleading because it's not actually an award show for things that already exist. It's really a DJ battle and a producer battle. I learned all these lessons via Fool's Gold on how to like successfully put together an event. I remember thinking like I can use those lessons to remedy something that's ailing in the battle scene, which is the scene that I got my start in. So I'm attached to it. I care about it, and I can sort of like bring the two parts of my life back together. And that's what happened, man. I was so happy. It took a lot of work. Basically, we get submissions via videos. So anyone online can send these videos, and they come from all over the world. And then myself and some of the other judges, we narrow it down to 8 DJs and 8 producers. And then the Goldie Awards flies those 16 contestants to New York to battle.
So I just want to rile up some things right here.
Okay.
I know I do something that you hate, me doing something on stage that you hate, and you do something on stage that I hate.
Yes.
And I know for certain. So this is the thing I do on stage.
Oh, the heart.
Occasionally.
You know what? Hold on. I don't actually hate that much.
No, so
I think maybe Craze really likes.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Craze again.
Yeah.
Craze has like, but yeah, I legit like throwing up hard hands, especially when I play Show Me Love or anything. And it's I
don't hate it, but you know what it is. I think I think in some cases it can look like a bit of a caricature of certain kinds of DJs who aren't actually doing much mixing and who do more of like the theater, but. You're a hell of a great technical DJ.
No, thanks, man.
If you want to take a moment to do this, do whatever you want. You could even, dance.
No, so for me, the same as well. So I have utmost respect for you and your skills and the way you always keep it real. And there's always, but
I'm waiting for the but.
You stand on the DJ booth occasionally, and I've been Googling pictures of you and trying to get you like in like an action shot. And there's all these pictures of you on the DJ booth. And I'm like, I would feel so naked on there. How is that?
And you know what's funny? Mehdi used to do that a lot too. But I don't know, that's just an energy thing. Sometimes I think that my approach to DJing is there's a certain amount of showmanship to it. If you go to see like Slash do a concert, you expect Slash to just be a showman and to be Slash on stage. And like, in a sense, my approach to DJing is comparable to that. So there's a certain amount of physicality and body language, and sometimes I'll get up on the table, especially at a bigger festival where it's just a way to feel a connection with the crowd. But yeah, then that's the picture that they always end up posting, where I'm like, man, I did that for 40 seconds out of an hour and a half. But yeah, I don't know.
See, my pet peeve with a lot of DJs nowadays, scrolling down the pages, is you see them mixing with a mic in their hand, and often they're even in front of the stage, and they look like singers to me now.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and also everyone pretty much posts the same type of photos, and also some of these stages that we all play, it's like the reach of DJing has gotten so big. I think inevitably there's a certain amount of antics that come with just trying to make sure that the crowd feels your presence in certain ways, but I think the important thing is that the actual DJing part of the set is still, the majority of the time, and that the jumping around is kind of a little spice on top, not the other way around. So you don't want your dish to be all spice. You want your dish to have nutritional value, and if you want to put a little bit of hot sauce on it, it's a little spice.
Well, there it is. Real DJing with A-trak right here. Thank you so much for all your knowledge and effort, and looking forward to tonight.
Yes.
Let's do this.
All right.
And so we had an awesome night in Washington, D.C. at Echostage, where both of us played on the same night. We're doing it again, actually, in Houston at Stereo Live on March 8th. Safe to say there will be some real DJing in the house right there. And it was so great to talk to him. I actually had 45 minutes of footage from him. He had so much info and so much history, I almost felt bad like cutting it short to a vlog like this. But if you like this vlog, if you want me to make more videos with DJs, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Next week though, I am super excited. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right now to not miss out. It's gonna be awesome. I'll be doing a new In My Mindset on the new Denon Prime 4 setup. Can't wait to get my hands on this thing. Can't wait for you to see my hands while I DJ on it. Catch you back again here next week. Until then, L's up, rave safely, and salute.